For New York, the rookie, Pauline Astier, alongside Maureen Johannes, Satu Sabally, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones. Natalie Nakase again likes her group. She had 8 days to put together a game plan, work through some things ahead of this matchup.
It's a coach's dream to have 8 days. I mean, they get to get into the gym, and what Natalie told us is. So that means she's expecting her team to come in sharp tonight. First-year
head coach Chris DeMarco, longtime assistant with the Golden State Warriors. He's taken over here in New York, a squad that's got championship aspirations, and again, offensively, he has the Liberty off to a ridiculously hot start. As we mentioned before, averaging 100 points per contest through these first 4 games. That's the chess match in this one. Offense and defense, Liberty leading the WNBA in scoring. Meanwhile, the Valkyries only allow 76 points per contest so far, and that's by far the fewest in the W. Something will have to give tonight. Satu talking earlier about how excited she is for this moment. Her sister Niara played for the Liberty, won a championship here a couple of seasons ago. Satu was front and center, front row here at Barclays Center. Called it one of the most meaningful moments of her life, seeing her sister win a championship, and now she has an opportunity to bring another title to New York. Kia Stokes on the center circle, former Liberty big, alongside Jonquel Jones. And we are underway at Barclays Center. Johannes off to a fast start for New York. Career highs nearly across the board. This is Jonquel Jones, former MVP. Outside, Astier flicks the wrist. Pick it up where she's left off.
You really cannot afford to be late on the closeout with Astier shooting 46% from long range.
Hand off to Gabby Williams in her first season in the Bay. Outside look, Burton with the answer.
And that is exactly what Golden State wants to do on offense. They want to drive the lane and spray out for threes. They like to get up a lot of attempts. In fact, both of these teams do.
Yes. They are 1 and 2 respectively in three-point attempts a game. Also first and second in three-point field goal percentage. This is Kyla Charles in the lane. Outside, that's a good look for Stokes. It bounces up and off. And here comes Maureen Johannes for the Liberty. Sabally. Inside, Jonquel Jones faded away, left it short. Charles. Hand off to Thornton. Thornton won a championship with the Liberty in 2024. Before being picked up by Golden State in the expansion draft. Williams from downtown.
And that is the aspect of Gabby Williams' games. Here's Veronica Burton, defensive end. She will pick you up and harass you all the way down the court. But going back to that first New York Liberty bucket, double team on Jonquel, but you got to be careful where Astier is concerned because of the percentage she's shooting. And then Gabby Williams from 3. The aspect of her game, in my opinion, in these last few years that has really expanded her offense tremendously.
Astier toss out to Jones. Jones on the baseline, stopped by Stokes. Skip pass. Astier outside to Sabally. First attempt for New York. Off the mark. Offensive board. Sabally. And it is a shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation.
Again, this is what we're excited to see. Golden State, they hang their hat on the defensive side of the floor. And Chris DeMarco and his group with the assignment of trying to figure it out. Deal with the physicality. Although Natalie Nakase not happy with the physicality of her group in their last outing against Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that game, and it was low scoring, but even with that, she said we weren't physical enough on defense. Their defense sets their tone.
Williams off the mark, Astier the board. Early 6-3 advantage for the Valkyries. Stewart out to Astier, right down the lane, nobody home.
Little give-and-go action. And you see that Golden State is going to collapse with an extra defender on Stewie, on Jonquel, try to be disruptive.
The runner from Burton off the mark, and Johannes the board. Astier averaging just under 17 points a contest. She has 5 already. And that pass too high for Sabally. Sabally is on a minutes restriction. Again, this is her first game back.
Right here, Breanna Stewart catches it. And look at Burton. She's coming all the way down to collapse on Stewart. There's no rotation on the backside. She can't get back in time to contest. So you are taking a calculated risk in that situation. But Breanna Stewart requires that kind of defensive attention.
Thornton on the move. Pull up J is pure. Taylor Thornton, an all-star season ago, then lost for the season with the knee injury. You alluded to that earlier in the Open, LaChina. This is Stewart, straight on, off the heel, and Thornton the board. Burton. Forced to give it up. Williams on an island with Sabally. Crossover. Outside, Burton. Shot clock winding down. Burton can't hit. Astier the board.
New York did a great job of keeping Golden State out of the paint.
Jones bulldozing her way right through Veronica Burton. Again, one of the toughest in the WNBA. That won't be the last time Burton hits the floor.
It will not at all, and not the last time she tried to take a charge. That was just a tough situation in terms of spacing for Pauline Astier to make that pass to Jonquel. It would have been tough for her with the defense already starting to get back in transition for her to make something of that play.
Substitution for New York. A couple of Rebeccas in the ball game for the Liberty. Rebecca Allen back in a Liberty uniform, previously played with the franchise, and Rebecca Gardner on the floor right now. She has the defensive assignment on Williams. Williams turns inside, the pull-up, rattles out, and Jones the rebound. Jones got a screen from Johannes. Jones to the rack, plus the foul.
Jonquel Jones on a switch is a tough assignment. And right now she has got a size advantage in that situation. Kia Stokes is her defense, but she gets caught on the screen, and there's no way Kyla Charles can keep all that from getting to the rim. And Jones, so shifty at her size, 6'6", getting to the rack.
Leticia me here on the floor now for Golden State, as Jones cannot complete the three-point play. Williams, that's a good look from straight on, buries it. She is a game changer for the Valkyries. 11-7 advantage for Golden State. Gardner right down the lane and the finger roll.
Gardner has got off to an awesome start this year, playing a career high in minutes in production.
Averaging 10 points per contest so far for New York. Ami here, going at Jones and squeezes it through.
I like it.
Ami here also having a strong start to the season. Best net rating on the Valkyries as Allen called for the travel. Early 13-9 advantage for Golden State.
We've got a good one here at Barclays, and Gabby Williams has brought her jump shot to this game early. Veronica Burton on the dribble penetration, and Gabby Williams said, "I got you" from long range. And Rebecca Gardner off of the bounce for the Liberty right to the rim. I know Natalie Nakase is going to want to talk about that during the break.
Through the work that you're doing with Natalie Nakase, and she says, listen, I've been able to expand just my vision for my game, the opportunity to create and have the ball more in my hands, but I'm leaning on the feedback, and I tell
A little bit of point guard.
Yeah.
Natalie in this one.
Yes. Natalie said she liked the way that looked during their 8-day break. I'm going to keep talking about that. And I call it a break, but they were practicing.
That's Rebecca Allen. Can't hit the three. And Ami here the board. Versatile big, able to bring it up herself. Hand off to Burton. Skip pass. Charles, the crossover, and the finish.
Wow, what an athletic move. That looked really good. And we had a conversation about Charles with Nakase before the game, and she talked about her selfless attitude and how she knew that that would help her to fit well into this system.
Stewart snaps a 7-0 Valkyries run. Burton. And that was Janelle Salon leading the Valkyries in scoring, even though she comes off the bench. Can't hit her first attempt. Stewart looking to go back to work. Stewart in a crowd, no whistle. Battle for the board. Ami here comes out of there with it.
Golden State Valkyries giving Brianna Stewart a lot of defensive attention.
Burton stops at the free throw line. Now sizing up Jones, will fire from deep and hit. And New York needs a timeout. The Brianna Stewart, and Stewart got the jet.
There's nothing you can do when Brianna Stewart gets elevation on that turnaround jump shot. She's got a 7'1" wingspan, so that just tells you how high her release point is.
Caitlin Chin also in there for the Valkyries. Ami here surrounded. And a 3-second violation. First turnover of the ball game for Golden State. They only average 10 a game. That's the fewest in the W.
Yeah, you really can't hang your hat on points off turnovers when it comes to the Valkyries, because they're not going to make a ton of mistakes. They play at a slow pace, and so they don't get up and down the floor a ton. But their defense is definitely very stout.
Van Loo. Her pass deflected and stolen. That's 5 turnovers now for New York. Salon. Battling Alex Fowler. Turnaround J is pure. How about this hot start for Golden State?
Well, they only scored 63 points in their last contest in a loss to Chicago, and you could tell they're trying to make up for some of that offense that they didn't get in that game.
On pace to obliterate that point total. Another turnover for New York as Satu Sabali checks back in.
Janelle Salone here just shimmy shakes, gets her a little bit to bite on the shoulder work and the fadeaway. I like her game. It's really smooth, and she is off to a great start this season as well.
Again, she's averaging just under 16 points per contest. This is Hayes. Over to Salon. Back to Hayes. And the whistle blows for a foul. And it's on Julie Van Loo.
From what I've watched in New York defensively, they will switch things up a little bit, sprinkle in some zone, play some man. But I'm not really understanding the inability to get out and contest a three so far, other than the fact that they're getting their matchups and their switches in a situation that's been compromising for New York defensively.
This is Hayes. Inside, Thornton wide open for the deuce.
Yeah, see, then there was confusion on the ball screen. And the easy one right at the rim.
Golden State with a 9-0 advantage and points off of turnovers. 65 seconds to go here in this opening quarter, and an offensive foul. And this is part of the chemistry that has to develop in real game time action with Satu Sabali.
Yeah, some of the timing, knowing your teammates, how they move, when they're going to come off the screens, learning their body signals, their tendencies.
Under a minute to go. Opening quarter here at Barclays Center. Salon wants 3, can't hit. Rebound secured by Sabali. And New York came in averaging 100 points a game. They have just 13 so far in this opening frame. Foul is called on Janelle Salon. That is going to be her first as Kia Stokes checks back into the ball game for Golden State. Again, turnovers the biggest issue. The Liberty, they're shooting 50% from the floor, but that's when they get a shot on goal. Van Loo swings it. Astier high off the window. Just get Pauline the rock.
First team all finisher in the WNBA.
Thornton had all day, can't hit, out of bounds, and it's New York basketball.
That is the aspect of Pauline Astier's game that I love the most. She puts her head down and just goes right to the rim. Look at how high, it's out of the frame. We couldn't even see how high she got that up off of the glass. Again, we call it getting English on the finish. She calls it getting a little French.
10 seconds to go in the first. Swing pass. Here's Astier again. Back out to Van Loo. Quick touch to Johannes. This is where Johannes is dangerous. Clock winding down. Off the heel. And that's how the opening quarter comes to a close. That high-powered offense for New York held to just 15 points against the best defense thus far in the opening quarter. New York starting the second quarter here with their starters as a foul is called on Pauline Astier. And Chris DeMarco, first season as head coach of the Liberty, 14 years an assistant in Golden State, where of course is a part of multiple championship teams, learned a lot during his time in the Bay, and bringing that knowledge here to Brooklyn. This is Caitlin Chen off the mark, rebound Sabali.
It looked like New York was in the zone in that possession. They'll sometimes put Brianna Stewart at the top of that zone to give some length on defense, just to switch things up.
Hand off to Astier. Dump off. Jones inside, draws the foul. Take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. Next on Prime, LA at Phoenix. Ion Television tomorrow. Golden State at Indiana, followed by Connecticut at Seattle. CBS Saturday, Minnesota at Chicago. LA at Las Vegas. For more on these games, go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. 3 points thus far for Jonquel Jones. And you talk about, you know, super teams in the W. I don't know that anyone has sacrificed more on this New York squad than Jonquel Jones, a former MVP.
Absolutely. I mean, with the different styles that they've played, it is her versatility that allows teams to run their offense in a variety of ways, because sometimes she has to be in the paint, being physical. Sometimes she's called to be outside, lining up. She has to set picks. She has just had to do a lot for this team over time, and it's the way her skill set is built.
Here's Jones going back to work, kicking it out. Dangerous pass, nearly stolen by Thornton. Sabali comes out of there with it. Driving, finds Jones, three-ball, corner pocket.
Exactly what we were just talking about.
Makes it a 7-point ball game.
New York back in the zone here.
Hayes left that short. Offensive rebound, Thornton. Salon got free. She's dangerous. That time off the heel. Rebound ricochets to Astier. Hand off to Sabali. Again, Sabali making her debut in a Liberty uniform. Pull up, drops. First bucket in a Liberty uni.
So first, Satu makes the pass to Jonquel off of the drive. Then she comes down and looks for her own shot. She's starting to get comfortable.
This is Hayes outside to Thornton. Thornton can't hit. Rebound deflects out of bounds, and it'll be New York ball. So we're seeing Sabali make her debut and knock down the J here. We'll set up Jonquel Jones for the three, as you mentioned.
Yep.
And then she gets her own.
And the passing is the underrated aspect of her game. Career 5 assists per game for Satu at 6'4". She sees the floor well, and then she found that mid-range jumper.
Yeah, the debut for Sabally, still waiting on the regular season debut for Sabrina Ionescu as Gardner hits the trifecta. And timeout, Golden State. A 10-2 start to the quarter for New York.
Better when she's on the floor with me because we're so familiar. I'm just hoping that she heals up quick, guys.
It's going to be so impressive when this New York squad is at full strength. You think about what they've already done through these first few games of the regular season. As another turnover for New York, averaging 100 points a game. They're just welcoming back Satou Sabally and getting that chemistry right, and then they're going to welcome in Sabrina Ionescu.
Well, and that's allowed New York to kind of ease into the season for the first time in a long time, because in 2023, when Jonquel and all Sabrina, well, Sabrina's already here, but Breanna Stewart came to New York, they were expected to win right away, and they didn't. But they did win the championship, and then they got ousted the year after that early. But every year there's been expectations. Even last year they started winning their first 9 or 10 games, so there's been pressure on them to start the season every year. And even though you never want injuries to happen, and the youth is part of them easing into the season as well, but they just had a little bit more of a ramp up than they normally would.
Foul away from the ball is going against Gabby Williams, who hit a 3 on that last possession for Golden State. Williams has hit 3 3-pointers already, has 9 points for the Valkyries. And Natalie Nakase has done such a tremendous job with this Golden State squad, leading them to the playoffs a season ago. Reigning coach of the year. Missed shot inside by Stewart. Here comes Burton the other way. Extra pass. This is Charles from the corner. That rattles out. They've missed 7 of their last 8 from downtown. Handoff back to Gardner. Gardner lost the handle on the way to the rack. They say last touched by Burton.
A couple of really good defensive plays on baseline by the Valkyries back-to-back. Gabby Williams was involved in that defense on Breanna Stewart, and that time get a good poke away by Burton. It's good hands.
Yes. Inbound to Stewart. Jones bulldozing inside, can't hit the leg.
A lot of traffic. It looked like New York was surprised that Jonquel was driving. No space was made for her.
Williams. It was a first-time All-Star a season ago. Over to Charles. Charles right to the rim. Charles, such a tremendous story. Finding her footing with Golden State. Valkyries lead is 7. Astier. Outside. Gardner traveled.
Gabby was forcing Gardner to go left. And that is what kind of caused that turnover. But just good drive on the closeout by Charles, being aggressive, looking to get to the rim. You can see that Golden State wants to challenge New York's defense in one-on-one situations and closeout.
Williams over to Charles. Charles firing, can't connect. Stewart the board. New York's turned it over 9 times. Golden State just once. Stewart over to Astier. Nakase wanted another travel. Gardner. This is tremendous defense from the Valkyries, forcing another turnover. Thornton coast to coast, put it in.
They kept New York from getting even a look at the paint on that last possession. Excellent defense.
7-0 run for Golden State. Outside look for Allen. No. And Stokes, the rebound, but stepped out of bounds. It'll go back to New York.
The anticipation and the activity defensively here by Golden State. Look at the collapse. You got two players. Jonquel Jones fumbles it there, and then out into the open court for Thornton, who gets off and running. But they are just collapsing in the right places, bringing pressure, keeping New York out of the lane. Liberty has gotten stagnant.
Getting their hands on everything. They've had great closeouts to perimeter shooters. This is Sabali, hounded by Charles. Skip pass to Van Loo. Van Loo down the lane. Van Loo with the lane.
Quick and swift to the rack.
She's been wearing 35 over the course of her career. 35 worn by Jonquel Jones, so she just flipped it to 53. Here's Thornton, can't hit Stewart. Here is number 53. Over to Sabali. Sabali, hard drive, can't hit. Rebound secured by Charles. Charles, oh, nobody stopped her, plus the foul.
Defense to offense has been the name of the game for the Liberty. Transition, for the Golden State Valkyries off of the Liberty right here. I mean, Satu almost got that to go, but look at how quickly Kyla Charles gets off and running, middle of the floor, past 4 and 5 defenders.
He's been tremendous. A pest on defense, improving on offense. She started last season with the Wings, was waived last June, signed a hardship deal with Golden State, and stuck with the Valkyries the rest of the season. They're going to count the three by June. 13 foul in the quarter for the Valkyries. Van Loo, inside Stewart, good position, and kisses it off the window.
Very well run, very well executed, and that's what you want to see out of a break.
Burton, over to Stokes. Charles on the move, back to Stokes now. Picks up the dribble. Burton, shot clock to 4. Outside look, deflected, nearly stolen. Williams is fouled beyond the arc by Sabali.
The one thing that Golden State will do is be patient and get multiple dribble penetration points to get the ball when they want it.
Liberty foul charges 0, Sabali.
Take a look at that foul as we head to break. Sabali, yeah, colliding with Williams there. It'll be 3 free throws out of the timeout. First half, they played stifling defense. They forced 10 New York turnovers. And they have a 14-0 advantage so far in points off of turnovers. I just want to point this out, LaChana, something you just don't see every day. A coach wearing a shirt and tie.
You know what? I miss it.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while since
I miss it.
Everyone's wearing warm-ups on the sidelines nowadays. NBA. It's just refreshing to see a coach put a suit on.
Yeah, and Coach DeMarco does give me warm-up vibes. He gives me kind of chill, but he's coming with his A game on the sidelines.
39-29 after the free throws. This is Stewart inside. Short hook is good.
Yeah, New York has been really good at creating advantages with Breanna Stewart in different matchups on different parts of the floor.
Stewart, reigning Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Burton lost the handle, kicked it out of bounds. Just the second turnover of the ball game for the Valkyries. Rookie out of France, Pauline Astier, giving it up to Jones.
And they're going to go right back to it. Breanna Stewart has the size advantage over Gabby Williams. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They go right back to the same play. And Stewart using her, again, wingspan and size to shoot over Gabby Williams, who we know is an outstanding defender.
Stewart knows as well. They used to do that all the time in practice back at UConn, winning a couple of titles together.
So she's seen that once or twice, huh?
And Stewart cannot complete the three-point play. She was shooting 93% from the charity stripe through the first 4 games of the season. Williams. Step back, can't hit. Rebound Salon. Hand off to Burton. Outside look for Kia Stokes is good.
I like the level of aggressiveness on offense from Kia Stokes that we're seeing in this Valkyries uniform this season.
7th three-pointer of the first half for Golden State. Good hands by Williams. Stewart recovers, misses the shot, and Kyla Charles with the board. One thing Natalie Nakase loves about her group, that she has several players, basically the whole starting 5, that would love to make the all-defensive squad this season in the W. And a 3-second violation going against the Valkyries, their 2nd of this first half. .105 to go here in the second quarter. And a 3-second violation, their 2nd of this first half. .105 to go here in the second quarter. Astier over to Stewart. Stewart the back down. Tough fade. And the shot bounces out. But Stewart will go to the line to shoot 2. She has the last 6 for New York.
Both of these coaches have been good about figuring out how to expose different matchups, whether that's on switches or just straight out assignments, and putting those players in spots on the floor where they can take advantage of it.
Stay tuned.
Candace Parker is going to get some lean back on her shots. She's going to get some kind of fade. It doesn't matter where on the floor she is. It's never just going to be straight up vertical. She's going to be in her lawn chair, leaning back just a little bit.
A number of those over the course of her Hall of Fame career. Here's Burton. Once again on an island with Jones. Double cross. Blocked by Stewart. And colliding with Jones and going down.
Breanna Stewart wanted that one so bad. She said, I'm going to have to go through you to get this, Jonquel. Sorry. Excellent help on baseline side by Breanna Stewart.
First block of the game for New York. 4.4 on the shot clock for Golden State. Inbound, Burton. Finally fires. Off the mark, Drew Iron. Salon the offensive board. Fresh 14. 9-second difference. Shot and game clock. Quick pass, Charles off the heel. Got her own. Charles stripped. 8 seconds. Johannes now. Over to Stewart. Stewart turns, fires, off the mark. And a rebound saved. And is underway. Here is Williams. Johannes the defensive assignment. A switch now. Jones a poke away. Burton got it back. Scoops it up and off the mark. Astier the board. Astier over to Johannes. Can't hit the 3. Jones the rebound in traffic. Couldn't put it in. And a rebound secured by Burton. Johannes just 2 attempts so far in the ball game.
Only 10 attempts from three-point land for Liberty as a team, and they averaged 31 of those on the season.
Williams can't hit. Jones the board. And here comes Stewart. 11 points for New York in that first half. Astier outside to Sabali. Bottoms.
Excellent ball movement by the Liberty. Getting the defense to collapse on baseline and then getting a great kick out.
Second field goal of the ball game for Sabali in her New York debut. Burton in the lane, forced to give it up. This is Stokes stroking it from long range.
We've seen her do it in her career, but I do feel like this is the most confident I've seen her on offense against the Chicago Sky. She was put up the hook shot and everything in the middle.
In her first season with the Valkyries, it's out of bounds. It will stay with New York.
Breanna Stewart on the drive, see the defense collapse, but Pauline Astier continues to move, and that lefty jumper there on the closeout by Satou Sabally. We have seen her get more comfortable as this game has gone on, and ooh, collision right there.
Sabally colliding with Thornton, and in some serious discomfort as she gets to her feet. Foul is going to be against Thornton. It'll be her first. And Thornton asking for a challenge.
Colliding with Kayla Thornton is like colliding with a boulder.
Yes.
She is solid.
Ooh. Yeah, that was a forearm and elbow right to the rib cage of Sabally. Here she is in attack mode down the lane, missed the lay.
And you can see she's still kind of limping up the floor after that collision, so she was a little short.
Yes.
But you saw the burst of speed to the rim. And we heard Swin and Candace talking at halftime about how she's still working her way back in, and so adding her back into this lineup contributes to a little bit of the slow start for New York and figuring out how to work her in and getting this team on the same page.
Stewart picked up the foul in that last possession. Pauline Astier is going to pick up the foul here. 2 fouls on Stewart. And Astier just picked up her second. New York's only lead of the ball game came in the opening possession when it was 3-0 New York. Since then, it's been all Golden State. Williams, and her pass knocked out of bounds by Astier. 9 on the shot clock for Golden State. New York shooting a better percentage from the floor so far in this ball game. But the Valkyries have hit more threes, and they force more turnovers. Right on cue, Veronica Burton with the tray.
And just excellent execution there. Handoff on the baseline out of bounds. Open look.
Golden State 48, New York 37. Johannes over to Jones. Jab step, drive. Jones rolls it in.
That was a tough bucket for Jonquel Jones because Burton even came over late to try to distract and take her eyes off the rim.
Stokes will give it up to Williams. Williams, pull up, Jay, short. New York looking for momentum. Stewart, stripped by Thornton, out of bounds, and he'll stay here.
And Kayla Thornton is arguing that the ball went off of the leg of Breanna Stewart. And I think Golden State, they played the change. They changed the call.
Officials changed the call.
And I think it was the right one.
Yes. Off the leg of Stewart. Outstanding defensive play by Kayla Thornton. So many menacing, versatile defenders on this Golden State squad. Williams outside to Charles. Charles on the move. Charles goes off the window.
She has liked every defensive matchup that has lined up in front of her tonight.
She's eaten. This is Sabally, blocked by Stokes, in the hands of Jones for 2. Pull up Jay. Charles can't hit. Offensive board. It bounced right to Thornton. 4 minutes gone by here in the third. Double-digit lead for Golden State. In and out on the three. Burton pushing the tempo off the rebound. Over to Williams, flicks the wrist. Long. Rebound Jones. Astier. Over to Johannes. And dragged the foot.
And New York had numbers. Golden State did catch up before just a few moments there, right before half court. They had numbers if they could have got the ball up the floor.
Chris DeMarco's group trying to find some momentum in this one. Let's send it over to Kayla Gray.
Thanks so much. And what they need to address, Chris DeMarco told me as this team was coming off of the court at half, was a turnover, saying simply, we've got to play better. We cannot turn the ball. We need to do a better job of taking care of that basketball.
Golden State with a 14-3 advantage in points off of turnovers. It's been one of the difference makers so far. Burton nearly lost the handle. There's Julie Van Loo back in the ball game for New York. Burton cutting outside to Charles. No. Van Loo over to Johannes. Johannes got a screen. Fires, left it short. And the rebound back tapped over to Thornton. Liberty just 4 for 13 from three-point range. Burton blocked! And off of Burton out of bounds. What a swat by Jonquel Jones.
I don't even think she got it out of her hands. Jonquel stuffed this before she even released the ball. And that's the mark of a great shot blocker, when you can keep the possession for your team off of a block. This is just tremendous defense here by Jonquel Jones, using those long arms. And now it will be Liberty basketball. We've got a little delay here.
And it may have been a substitution issue. So I just had to confirm who was at the scorer's table. Tiffany Hayes just checked in for Golden State. Caitlin Chin did not get to the scorer's table in time, so she'll have to wait for the next dead ball. Valkyries by 11. That is a tough fadeaway. Jonquel Jones, money.
Two big plays on both ends from JJ.
The Valkyries lead is 9. Hayes over to Salon. Fouled beyond the arc. Gardner didn't give her enough space.
Bahamas is in the building, and when Jonquel fades away off of that one leg, is usually money. Off of the glass and off of the defense by Golden State, showing her fadeaway over a shorter defender, using her size and height advantage on both ends. We all know that at 6'6", when Jonquel Jones makes up her mind, she can score from anywhere on the floor and can be just unguardable. I don't know that the Valkyries would have an answer for Jonquel and what we've seen from her in the last few possessions if this continues.
Janelle Salon was fouled beyond the arc before that timeout, so 3 free throws for her. She hits the first. Salon in her second year. A lot of French representation, not just in this ball game, but across the league.
And only 24 years old, like, just has so much great basketball ahead of her. 2025 all-rookie team. You mentioned second in scoring off the bench in the league after Kennedy Carter, who leads the W in that statistic to start. And here's Golden State going to mix up their defense a little bit and pick up.
Jones trying to go back to work. Defended by Ami here. Jones left it short. Stewart offensive board. Count it and put her on the line.
New York is having their way in the lane. through Jonquel Jones, through Breanna Stewart. They went back to Jones, as they should here on this offensive play. And then Stewie, again, rise and fire. Right up into the bucket.
Four offensive rebounds for New York. And 7 second chance points. Stewart and Jones have combined for 27 of New York's 46.
And it's a smaller lineup in for Golden State, which allows them to dominate inside.
Thornton can't hit the J, and here comes Van Loo the other way. Pushing it ahead. Gardner for 3. Off the mark, and Amihir the board. Hayes will slow things down. Chin. Over to Hayes. Hayes firing well off the mark. It'll be New York basketball. Hayes finding her rhythm. It's just her second appearance of the season. Former 6th player of the league in this WNBA. 55-46 is our score.
And Breanna Stewart initiating the offense, giving New York just a different look.
Van Loo stops on a dime. Can't hit the 3. Rebound secured by Hayes.
And that's her shot. Van Loo loves to get that shot up from 3. She's got a little trickery from long range as well.
New York just hasn't been able to find the distance in this one. Hayes with the cross. Stops in the lane. Outside to Amihir. Amihir on the move. New York just hasn't been able to find the distance in this one. Hayes with the cross. Stops in the lane. Outside to Amihir. Amihir on the move and kisses it off the glass.
Boy, just pressure on the rim from Amihir. Looks similar to what we've seen from Kyla Charles.
Amihir in her 4th year out of South Carolina. Approaching 2:30 to go, and Amihir with the steal. On the move, toss out. This is Salon in the corner. Step back 3, left it short, and rebound secured by Gardner. That shot tells you how much Salon loves the 3.
Yeah, because Stewie bit on everything, and it was a wide open baseline. I think she thought she might get some contact.
Yes. 57-46 is our score. Caitlin Chin just picked up the foul. It'll be the 3rd team foul on Golden State with 2:21 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Again, the highest scoring offense so far this young WNBA season. New York being held to just 46 points thus far. Sabally, no. Amihir.
It's a good move by Satu.
Hayes going to work, driving and fouled by Allen. Allen has the nickname Spider with the long arms, but a little bit too much contact on Tiffany Hayes. Crowd reacting to the replay.
If anything, it was.
I can see why Rebecca Allen wouldn't like the call, but if I'm Chris DeMarco, it's just too much contact there to challenge it.
Yeah, I mean it was that initial hand. It wasn't on the shot, in my opinion. It was that kind of initial push with the body.
This is now the largest lead of the ball game for Golden State. And both these teams had extended time off heading into this one. New York hasn't played in a week. Golden State, they've had 8 days off. And so far, it looks like they made the most of it. Van Loo, no good on the 3. Rebound chased down by Amihir. And fouled by Sabally. New York in the penalty. So it'll be free throws for Leticia Amihir. Me here good on the first as we take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. Coming up next, you don't want to miss LA taking on Phoenix. Ion Television tomorrow. Golden State at Indiana, Connecticut at Seattle, and then CBS on Saturday. Minnesota at Chicago, LA at Las Vegas. For more on these games, go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. It'll be New York ball after the missed free throw. Sabally felt a over-the-back call should have been made. And we're going to have a challenge here. It's New York ball, but Natalie Nakase wants a challenge. She believes it should be Golden State rock.
The ruling on the floor is Liberty ball. Golden State has challenged that ruling. The previous play is under review.
Good angle here. Oop. Still hard to tell from that angle.
It looks like there's a possibility that Satu
going straight up and down, so
trying to give enough time for the challenge.
Yeah.
You know, that should be a delay of game.
Yeah, because
it should.
Players will try things like that to give themselves an opportunity for the assistant coaches to look at a replay. And so until they start calling delay of game, it's just a heads-up play. Here's a heads-up play by Thornton. Down the lane. Put it up with the left. Plus the foul. A 7-0 Golden State run.
Golden State has just been the more physically dominant team in this matchup. Their speed, their anticipation, their rim attack, it's been consistent.
And you can see with Sabally, who's played 15 minutes in this ball game, she's going to play around 20 according to Chris DeMarco. Finding that rhythm is going to take some time.
Yeah.
It's been a while since she's been in real game action.
Growing pains. Like New York is in the process of finding their stride, but you have to commend the aggressive nature of Golden State Valkyrie and how they can take you off of your game
This is
with their
a
defense.
tough team to try to find your rhythm against. Salon goes around the world, finds a cutting Hayes. Hayes can't scoop it in. Me here, the offensive board, and no whistle. Allen over to Van Loo. Back to Allen. Allen can't hit the reverse. About a 2-second difference between the shot and game clock. Valkyries in firm control. Chin going at Van Loo. Outside. Amir faked the pass into Salon. Salon can't hit. Sabally with the heave from three-quarter court. WNBA action is on FanDuel. Download the app and play your game. Valkyries have been tremendous all night. Send it over to our Kayla Gray.
So much. Well, caught up with Kyla Charles and asked her about what existed in that 8 days, and she said that it was about reminding this group what they want this season, and that's to be one of the top defensive teams throughout the league. She said throughout these last 8 days, just knowing what we might be a little bit undersized when we come to certain matchups, but we have to have good defense. We have to have good ball pressure, push the pace, rebounding. We know we can still make a great impact, and that was what we were working on to ensure that we are set up for the best season. But Michael, 8 days, and on the 9th day, they came to play.
Pay dividends. This is Chen over to Salon. Salon on the move, floats it up and off. Rebound grabbed by Stewart.
And we have seen exactly that. Disruptive defense, physicality is what Natalie Nakase mentioned in our meeting. Good put back there by Stewie. And when she said physicality, I was thinking with the way that the game is being called this year, could New York get to the free throw line? They've only got 7 free throw attempts in this game.
This is Hayes, and she's fouled. Well, foul is being called on Pauline Astier, trying to battle with me here. Another thing that was fascinating that you alluded to earlier when we reflected on the last game for Golden State, they put up, in low 60s in that loss to the Chicago Sky, and we thought that maybe Natalie would reference, we got to work on the offense during these 8 days, and she said the defense.
Yeah.
And the main reason being, as you alluded to earlier, their defense turns into offense. Case in point tonight, they have 17 points off of New York turnovers.
Yeah, and she just likes for her team to control the game, and she felt like Chicago was able to get to their spots on the floor too easily. They weren't dictating enough, more reactive in those situations. But you have to love a coach when you score 63 points and says, we need to play better defense. The other team didn't hit 70 either. That's the other thing that you should know.
Kayla Thornton missing the technical foul off the defensive 3 seconds. Again, 63 points in that loss to Chicago. They have 63 points against the New York Liberty with 8:56 to go in regulation. And they've held this Liberty offense to just 48 points.
And that's the message he was sending. If we're going to score 63, they're going to score less than us.
Here's Thornton. Outside look, and it's good from the veteran Tiffany Hayes.
Great to see Tiffany Hayes back out on the court. You mentioned her being a veteran. She just brings so much experience. Been in a lot of battles in this league.
How about Jones through contact, hoop and harm for 2. We have a lot of time left in this ball game.
I like the call to get Jonquel Jones on the move. We've seen that in a few different situations there from the top of the key. Just taking the entire Valkyries defense to the rack.
And the offense for New York has mainly come from Jonquel Jones and Breanna Stewart. They've combined for 32 of the Liberty's 51 points. Stokes. Hand off to Burton. Burton cut off by Jones. Surrounded. Falling away. Gave it to Salon. Salon hits a tray.
My goodness. New York thought they had a trap and could maybe force a timeout or a turnover. That didn't happen.
The shot making for Golden State has been ridiculous.
And the vision and the strength of Burton to keep that alive under duress. And that was a good closeout. From that replay, It looked like that was well contested.
This is Astier. Outside to Fowler. Well off the mark. Rebound secured by Stokes, and we have a jump ball tied up by Breanna Stewart. Golden State with a 20-7 advantage in bench points in this one.
And we keep waiting for New York to go on a big run. We've seen some stretches from Jonquel, some from Breanna Stewart. To your point, they've made up a bulk of the production, but no real big runs from New York. You feel like they may have one in them in this last frame.
And whistle blows. Maybe a clock issue. Again, New York welcoming Satou Sabally tonight. They're still waiting on Sabrina Ionescu, getting closer. Hasn't played this season due to that ankle and foot injury. There's Sabally, 5 points, 2 of 8 shooting in her New York Liberty debut. And they take 2 seconds off the shot clock. 7:42 to go in regulation. Golden State leading by 18. Burton in and out dribble, and the finish. Beautifully done by Veronica Burton. This crowd is stunned here at Barclays Center. Fowler The runner, no good. Rebound, Burton. Burton over to Hayes. Wide open. Can't hit the tray. Rebound, Astier. Johannes, 0 for 3 for Marine Johannes. Astier the cross, retreats and gives it back to Johannes. Pump, off one leg, can't hit. And foul is called. And it's going against Alex Fowler.
Veronica Burton off of the ball screen just freezes Jonquel Jones with the inside-out dribble. Boy, she is so fearless and fun to watch. The tenacity that she plays with for an entire basketball game is impressive.
Han Shu on the floor now for New York, seeing her first minutes of the ball game as Hayes is fouled and will go to the line.
Liberty foul charge number 23, Marine Johannes, as her first, team's third.
Johannes picking up her first. Hayes going to the line. There is Han Shu, back with New York, 6'10". Has played her entire career with the Liberty, but has had some stints where she stepped away to play overseas, which was the case a season ago. One more free throw for Hayes. Hayes now with 9 points off the bench, 4 for 4 at the line. And again, the vet providing a lift for Golden State. Their lead is 22. Johannes got some space, can't hit once again. Now 0 for 5 from the floor.
She just has not been able to get it to go down, even though she has been shooting it well on this young season.
Thornton. Hand off to Salon. Download the app and play. Stewart going to work inside, fouled. And Stewart will go to the line to shoot 17-point lead as we head to this, trailing about 5:50 to go here in the fourth. The Golden State lead is
Then set the tone. Natalie Nakase has to be impressed with what she's seeing from her team.
And the reigning WNBA Coach of the Year. Here's Breanna Stewart at the free throw line. The Liberty had scored at least 98 points in each game so far in this young WNBA season, and they're going to fall well short of that. And a near turnover. And we're going to have a jump ball. It'll be Rebecca Gardner. And she'll jump it up with Kyla Charles. And Stewart is going to take a seat. It was 5:43 to go in the fourth. And there are no starters out there on the floor for the Liberty. This is Burton to the rack.
To leading a team to the playoffs.
It's one of those, fascinating things when you have an expansion team. We have 2 expansion teams in the W this season. Had Golden State a year ago. It's been a while before that since you had an expansion squad. But, WNBA teams are able to secure 6 players on the roster, and then everyone else is available for the expansion draft. And so these players get, in some cases, they feel like discarded and sent to a team, and they have a chip on their shoulder. And you kind of saw that collectively with this Golden State squad from a season ago. So many players having their best year with that chip. Here's Gardner all the way for the lay. Crowd getting into it. We're at the midway mark of the fourth. New York still has a big hole to climb out of. Burton. Over to Salon. Salon outside for Williams, who drains the trifecta.
Cool, calm, and collected. That is what big-time players do, is they respond to a run.
14 points for Gabby Williams, pulls down the rebound.
But going back to the point you were making, yeah, you can feel that way in an expansion draft situation, or you can use that as an opportunity. It looked like there's a foul.
Yeah.
Gabby may get 3 free throws here.
Fowler with the foul on Williams, and it will be 3 free throws for Gabby Williams, who made the decision in free agency to join this feisty group of defensive-minded players for the Valkyries.
But every player on an expansion team or that's chosen in an expansion draft, you got to see it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, I can step into a new situation, take on a different role, probably a bigger role in some senses.
Yes. You're seeing Sarah Ashley Barker do that in Portland right now. When a buried mission resurfaces, Jack Ryan is pulled back into the CIA. John Krasinski returns as a titular hero, and Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan Ghost War, a new movie streaming now, only on Prime. We have 4 minutes to go here in the fourth. Han Shu, surrounded by Stokes, gave it up to Van Loo. Around a Fowler screen, gives it up to Han Shu. Capable shooter from downtown. That gives the crowd something to cheer about.
Han Shu's got a complete skill set. I really enjoy her game. Her face-up shot, she's got size around the rim, soft touch, mobile. What a venue to take in basketball, to be a fan of the game. These fans are incredible.
Burton blocked by Gardner, got it back, beat the clock, did not draw iron. It's a shot clock violation. And the Valkyries in their inaugural season a year ago finished 2 games above 500, made the playoffs, first expansion squad to do so, as we mentioned earlier. And looking to build on that this season as Van Loo out of control and picking up the offensive foul.
Yeah, Van Loo has tried to force some things on a few possessions, and right there, I did not see
season, and we know that she's going to find her rhythm.
Yeah, we all know what Satu is capable of. I mean, what she's done, not just in the WNBA, but on the international stage, representing Germany. One of the best players in the world. But something that Breanna Stewart said earlier I thought was interesting. She said, Satu's had a great career, but I feel like she wants more. And that there's another level that she can get to, not only in championships, but just in her own game and the impact that she wants to have. So I'm excited to see what she'll do with this organization.
As Burton can't hit, and rebound secured by Van Loo. Sabley, of course, helped knock New York out of the postseason a year ago, helping lead the Phoenix Mercury to the WNBA Finals. Sabley averaged 19 points per game in the postseason, and again, she wants a title. Here's Chen the other way, can't hit the lay, and Allen comes out of there with the board. Approaching 2 minutes to go here in the fourth. Again, the crowd gets excited anytime Han Shu gets a touch. Her handoff fumbled away. Van Loo has it.
And Han Shu got on the floor, 6'11".
Right. Allen got a tray.
I like that hustle from Han Shu. I'm about 6'6" with these heels on, and I'm always trying to stay away from the ground. That's a long way down.
You'll leave that for the guards.
Yeah, there's a long way down.
Chen over to Salon.
Man.
Salon hits another.
What a beautiful high release.
Yes.
She has quietly done damage tonight.
It's her second triple of the ball game. She entered this ball game shooting 50% from 3-point range. And some substitutions as Veronica Burton, her night is done. 13 points, 7 assists for VB.
Rebecca Gardner in the line, shooting
2. One more free throw coming from Gardner. Under 90 seconds to go here in the fourth. And foul is called, is going against Alex Fowler. Penalty situation, and so Salon will go to the line. Again, it's very early in this WNBA season. But Golden State feeling like they can absolutely make some noise, and they have the defense and the three-point shooting to do so.
Yeah, and defense travels. You know, you can't always control if the ball is going to go in the bucket, but you can control your connectivity on defense, your activity, knowing personnel, understanding schemes. And you heard Swin and Candace allude to the brilliance of Natalie Nakase and how she keeps you guessing on.
Don't forget game number 2, LA taking on Phoenix. Lisa Bynington, Cynthia Cooper on the call. That immediately follows us. We have 60 seconds to go here in Brooklyn. Just a masterful performance from the start by Golden State, led by as many as 24. Van Loo, pass up ahead, Gardner with the finish. 85-68. Shot clock winding down on 10, and a foul is called. We're going to have more free throws. I mentioned this front end of a back-to-back for Golden State. They'll take on Indiana tomorrow. Meanwhile, New York, a couple of days off.
That woman in the middle is available to play. And yet another opportunity for Satu with this group as well.
Closing seconds here in BK. Liberty's only lead tonight was when it was 3-0. Since then, it's been all Golden State. A near wire-to-wire win for the Valkyries. Started the season with a 11-point win over Seattle, and then a blowout victory over Phoenix before that setback against Chicago. They've rebounded nicely to and Golden State can dribble out the clock. A dominant 17-point victory for the Golden State Valkyries over New York. 16 points for Gabby Williams to lead the way. They had 5 players scoring